Welcome to Pagan Crafting. I'm your host, Kara. Today we're gonna make some miniature Yule logs. You could use these for your altar, for your mantle, for your Yule tree, or some home decor. These authentic birch branches that we use for a little birch log and beeswax candles we'll use in this episode. So join us today if you wish to learn how to make these cute little Yule logs for your decor. So I'm going to use a traditional birch branch, but they're going to turn into little teeny tiny Yule logs. So as my daughter and I, as you can see here, are kind of setting up our craft area here, I like to use birch. It's accessible for where I am. In England, oak is traditional. Scotland, it's birch. While in France, it's cherry. It symbolizes the waxing sun, is endurance, strength, protection, and good luck to the people of the coming of the new year. So what I'm doing here, I'm adding little glue dots, and they're going to be the little feet underneath the Yule log, so it'll sit because it's round and it won't sit up straight. So these will create a little feet at the bottom, and you won't see that as it dries. So I'm just going to continue on all the little Yule logs except for one. I'm going to add some hemp twine onto it and hang it in my tree. So we're going to start off with some beeswax. Now I only have one color of beeswax, so I'm going to use some mica powder to color them different colors. We're going to use actual wicks with our little candles, so you can light these little Yule logs if you wish as well, which would be really cute. I'm going to light one of them at Christmas time on the 21st. So I'm just sizing up. I think I cut about 1.5 inches, maybe about 4 centimeters or so wide. I'm going to make my candles a little bit taller. My daughter here on the right hand side, you'll see her hands pop out here and there. She was a little camera shy. It was okay to have some of her stuff on the camera. She was making some really short little stubby ones. Now you want to keep your hands nice and warm. You want to warm up the wax a little bit first to help it curl. It's just the beginning of it to get it the momentum going, and then it rolls perfectly. You can trim them off to whatever width you would like. So the thicker you roll it, the fatter the candle. But I'm going to keep these skinny, and we're going to have the 3 colors of the seasons for the pagan Yule log. So figuring out my length, you can see my daughter's on the right. She's making some small little short ones. So I'm going to have 3 candles each on my Yule log. I'm going to use green, red, and white. So the green or gold you could use, but green is more traditional, represents the new growth as the days become longer and the time for spring and planting approaches after the Yule. They can also symbolize prosperity and health. The red candles represent the willpower and courage and also symbolize birth. The white candles are commonly used for protection and symbolize the light that is here to come. Here I'm using the mica powders I was telling you about. I do a lot of resin art that I don't really show too much on my channel, because on my channel I like to do more natural goodies, and some of the resin I use is kind of toxic. That's why I'm getting into the resin-crete stuff, which I really love. Now here I'm just coloring away the candles, and they are so iridescent and shiny and beautiful, bringing in all the colors. I love this. Correct me if I'm wrong. I've been trying to find out, but I thought the story of the candles, the color of the candles also represented the story of the oak and the holly king, the twins. I've been trying to find that somewhere, somehow, but I thought I read that somewhere as a kid. That somehow the colors were also affiliated with the twins, the kings. Comment down below if you guys know the story about here, because I looked up the story of the oak and the holly king, and I couldn't find the Yule candles within it, but there's got to be some symbolism there for sure. So next up, we're gonna start decorating our little Yule log. Yes, I'm using hot glue on beeswax candles, so you want to use an older hot glue gun or a cheap hot glue gun that isn't very hot, because if you use an industrial one, some of those crafters have some amazing hot glue guns out there that it'll just melt it. But it does adhere to the log pretty good. I didn't have to use any more blobs of glue to reinforce it. But I do wish to hide the glue around the edges of the candles. Looks like that one I didn't move fast enough, so it dried too quickly, and I'll just re-adhere it. And we're gonna hide that glue with what? Yes, some moss, my friends. Moss and mushrooms. We're not gonna do mushrooms today, sadly. My daughter wanted me to make her some little miniature mushrooms to put on hers. I still have to do that for her. Some little teeny tiny ones. Now I want magical mushrooms on my little Yule log. That'd be so cute. So I'm putting moss all the way around. You may not see the back side, but I know that there's glue sticking out there, so and it just finishes it off. It looks nice. Especially if you're gonna hang it on your tree, you never know which way it's gonna swing. So I'm using a little braided corded I found here at the local Dollar Tree, and this little braid has little vines interwoven and around it, and I'm going to cut off each individual little leaves out of here. You could also cut your own little leaves out of material, or some fine felt would work as well. But I like the colors of these ones, so I'm going to hit I'm not going to cut out miniature holly, which probably would work a little better. I'm going to add a little flower. I made some autumn decor here recently at the end of November, and this Yule log is going to match up that decor. So I'm bringing the burgundy flower onto this one. Now I'm gluing on 3 of those little leaves on each side. One on the green, one on the red. So it's gonna be my version of little miniature leaves instead of holly leaves. I have some little wooden beads here that I've used for all kinds of crafts, and I thought my red wooden beads would work really nice as holly berries. So then I didn't have to make any holly berries with polymer clay either. So just some little beads of any color will do, but if you have red, that'd be fantastic. Even if you get berries from outside, let them dry out for a bit. Put them in the oven on super low on like 150, 120 Fahrenheit for a while and just dry out the berries. Oh, that'd be super cute as well. So I'm gonna work on a second one now. It's getting some more leaves ready for that one. And this one I've tied off some hemp twine on the edges, and I made a little loop. Because this one I'm gonna hang on my Christmas tree. This one's not sitting up very well because I didn't put any little feet on the bottom of this little log. But that's okay because he's going to be hanging, so I'll just have to work within that. And I'm just using some reindeer moss. I loved how reindeer moss is so preserved. It's so malleable and soft and easy to use. I probably use this more than any other moss that I can get my hands on. The drier moss is so messy. And then again, I'm going to glue on a pattern of 3 leaves, 2 on one side and only 1 on the opposite. And we're going to rock in some little red beads in there again. And then on the opposite side where the green, I'm going to put some little leaves and some berries there too. I think it's adorable, a little bit on both sides there. So this one was very similar to the first one, but my next one I'm going to make is going to be a little bit different. So I'm going to show you 3 different Yule logs. My daughter's making the 4th one, and I'll show all 4 of them completed at the very end of this video. So that's the one for the tree. Oh, it looks like I kept going here. Another idea. I have these little ferns left over from a project. I thought a little bit of extra greenery using I got this new finger thing because I'm always burning myself with the hot glue. So this little pink rubber thimble has been saving my finger from many a burns. Many a burns, many a burns. I think I'm going to add a second piece to this one. I think that'll look sharp. Yeah, I love that. Just needed a little bit of extra something. Now this one was fraying at the end. This is another little braid I have that's intertwined with a little bit of vinery. So I put a little bit of glue at the end just to kind of get the frays all glued back together and slendered out. And I'm going to wrap this Yule log because I don't have any ivy, so we're going to pretend. So I'm just going to use the braided. I'm just seeing if I should play with it a little bit. I was looking at different configurations. And then I decided just to wrap it like a spiral. Now just thinking about the spacings too, because I do want to glue down my candles, so I was just spacing that out accordingly. And we're going to do some hot glue and hold that down there. Now I'm bringing an extra little bit of hot glue dollop at the bottom, and again that's all going to be hidden for what I have planned here for this one. We're going to add some fake foliage along the bottom perimeter just like you would adding some cedar or foliage from the forest with this one. See my daughter busily working away on the other side as well. I'm burning my fingers. You can see I'm playing with that glue there. I just had to wait a moment. I think I got a little burn. Oh, still working the fingers, yep. Okay, so next part, I'm going to grab, I have this little foliages left over from my dioramas that I've made. And I'm just going to trim off the bits here. And I'm going to line the whole bottom all the way along the edging. I might bring in some purple flowers. I cut some off too. Not sure yet if I will. My daughter's got a little cascade of, look at that, what she's made to the right there. She's doing down the log of the candles and the moss. It looks so cute. Now I'm taking the rest of this little foliage here and I'm just gonna line it away. And it doesn't matter how much hot glue you're going to use because you're not going to see too much of it anyway. So now that I've pretty much made my Yule log look into a green caterpillar, I wasn't quite sure after I've done this part. So this one, I wasn't quite sure. But then when I flipped it over, it didn't look too bad. Didn't it look like a green caterpillar anymore? So I added the little green leaves here a little bit. I kind of fluffed them up a little bit to bring them out, but I added a bunch of the beads for the berries along the edges. I did in groups of 3s as well. And I think that just punched it out and just gave it some extra color. And there we go. Oh, I'm happy with my little green caterpillar. I'm gonna add some little moss, some reindeer moss along the edges of the candles once again, just to hide the glue. Even though, yes, I added more glue, but now I'm hiding the glue's glue on top of the glue with more glue and moss. Yes. I think these just turned out just so cute. I love it. And I was so sad this year I didn't have a Yule log, but I found a birch branch. And I'm like, I will make a Yule log. It doesn't have to say what size it is. Of course, they used to be quite significant in size, but I can carry this with me if I want to. Anyway, here's my 3 little Yule logs. 1 of 3, I mean. And let us have a little look at the rest of them. Here's my daughter's. I'm absolutely loving the cascade, the waterfall effect she did with her. She did some red and white candles. And here is all 4 of them. And yes, you could actually light all these candles. They are actual wicks and real beeswax. So that is fun. I'm going to light one of these on the 21st for sure. Well, thank you so very much for joining me today. As always, I want to wish you an absolutely magical, magical holiday season, a wonderful Yule, an absolutely beautiful day to you and yours. May you have all the blessings that you desire for the new year.